Welcome to Lovell. As we are operating during the coronavirus pandemic, we need to ensure we are protecting our workforce and minimizing risk of spread of infection. The following controls have been put into place on this project to protect you and your family's health. Only come to work if you are well and no one in your household is self-isolating. You will be asked if you have any symptoms each time you arrive. If you begin to feel unwell with a high temperature, persistent cough, or a loss or change to your sense of smell or taste while at work, ensure your manager or supervisor is informed. Return home immediately, avoid touching anything, cough and sneeze into a tissue and put it into a bin or into the crook of your elbow if you do not have tissues. If you have symptoms, you can ask for a test to check if you have the virus. Talk to your employer or book for yourself at nhs.uk. You must then follow the guidance on self-isolation and not return to work until this period has been completed. If you test positive for coronavirus, the NHS Test and Trace Service will contact you to share information about recent contacts to help them alert others who may need to self-isolate. If you have had close recent contact with someone who has coronavirus, you must self-isolate if the NHS Test and Trace Service advises you to do so. Wherever possible, you should travel to work alone using your own transport. If you have no option but to share transport, share with the same individuals and with as few people as possible. Try to avoid using public transport. Where this is your only option, consider avoiding use during peak times. There may be new rules for signing in and out. Site management will explain the new requirements to you. When travelling between work locations, travel alone when possible. If you have no option but to share a vehicle, share with the same individuals and with the minimum number of people at any one time. Maintain good ventilation, for example keeping windows open, and face away from each other as much as possible during the journey. Wash your hands for 20 seconds using soap and water or hand sanitizer before you get in and after you get out of the vehicle. Regularly clean inside the vehicle, concentrating on surfaces touched during the journey such as door handles and seatbelt sockets. Ensure you wash your hands before and after using welfare facilities. Enhanced cleaning regimes are in place. If you use our facilities, please make sure you treat them with respect. Be aware break times at our depots may be staggered to reduce congestion. Site management will tell you if this is the case. Bring pre-prepared meals and refillable drinking bottles from home. Sit 2 meters apart from each other whilst eating and avoid all contact. Put your rubbish in the bin. Do not leave for someone else to clear up. Wash your hands frequently throughout the day using soap and water for 20 seconds, and especially after blowing your nose, sneezing or coughing. Wash your hands when you arrive, before and after eating, drinking, smoking and vaping, before you use your phone, whenever you remove your gloves, and when you leave. Where facilities to wash hands are not available, use hand sanitizer. Please inform us if our supplies are getting low. Lovell will make reasonable checks to establish if households are isolating or shielding. No work will be carried out in any household which is isolating or where an individual is being shielded unless to remedy a direct risk to the safety or security of the household, such as emergency plumbing or repairs. When working in occupied properties, stay at least 2 meters away from other workers and residents as much as possible. Display signage when in properties to remind everyone to stay away from the work. Plan all work to minimize contact with others and avoid skin-to-skin contact and face-to-face working. Where face-to-face working is essential, work in small teams and keep the task as short as possible. Avoid stopping to chat in smaller areas such as hallways, stairs or landings. Comply with specific project rules as per your induction. If emergency repairs are necessary in a household which is isolating or where an individual is being shielded, only fit and healthy operatives with no underlying health problems will be asked to attend. Our coordinators will gain as much information as possible about the repair to help with equipment needs before attending the property. On arrival, knock the door and stand back at least 2 meters. Once answered, ask the occupants to vacate the rooms where repair works are required if possible, or explain they must maintain a minimum of 2 meters from you at all times. If works are required in multiple rooms, ask the occupants to locate to an unaffected room. On entry, wash your hands using soap and water for 20 seconds. Where facilities to wash hands are unavailable, hand sanitizer should be used and should be carried with you at all times. Display signage to remind the residents to stay away from the works. Ensure good ventilation by opening windows or doors where possible. Avoid touching your face with unwashed hands. Communicate with the occupants by phone or through closed doors. Wash your hands when you leave and avoid touching anything on the way out, including door ironmongery. Only hold meetings that are absolutely necessary. Ideally, these should take place outdoors with the minimum number of people, and those people should be kept at least 2 meters apart. Use phones and text to communicate. Set up WhatsApp or similar groups for send-to-many communications. Our standard non-COVID-19 site PPE requirements remain in force. Safety helmet where necessary, safety footwear with toe and midsole protection, high-vis vest or coat, and task-suitable gloves. Other PPE must be worn in accordance with individual activity risk assessments, for example, wearing FFP3 for construction dust hazards. Washable PPE such as high-vis vests or gloves should be washed regularly in accordance with manufacturer's instructions and replaced when necessary. We do not encourage the precautionary use of PPE to protect against COVID-19 where 2 meter social distancing can be achieved. Where work within 2 meters is essential, a minimum of FFP2 masks must be worn. Reusable PPE should be thoroughly cleaned after use and not shared between workers. Single-use PPE should be disposed of so that it cannot be reused. Hands must be washed thoroughly after removal. For minor injuries such as cuts, you may be asked to treat the injury yourself under the guidance of a first aider. Due to the current pressure on resources, there may be potential delays in emergency services response. Consider preventing or rescheduling high-risk work or providing your own competent first aid or trauma resources. If in doubt, do not take risks. Talk to your supervisor or Lovell management. Please inform us straight away if you have any concerns or have any ideas for improvement. And remember, do not come to work if you have any coronavirus symptoms. Thank you for your time. Stay healthy.